What's going on, guys? Jacob over here. So, we are going to be doing the ESPN bracket challenge today. I love doing brackets for March Madness. It is one of my favorite times in sports, the 3 to 4 day period where we're able to fill out brackets. But last year, obviously, I didn't get the chance to do this because of the COVID-19 pandemic shutting down the tournament. So, this year, we finally get the chance to do it. And we're going to be doing it online in this format, same format that I did to predict the NFL playoffs. So, without further ado, here we go. We'll start in the West region. Gonzaga versus Norfolk State or Appalachian State. Gonzaga. Oklahoma versus Missouri. We're going to go with Oklahoma there. And keep in mind, guys, I don't know hardly anything about college basketball. So don't get mad at me if I pick against your favorite team or whatever. You know, this is all for fun. I don't know what I'm doing. It's just, I love doing brackets. And, you know, I barely follow college basketball outside of the Badgers. So just keep that in mind when I'm doing my predictions. But Creighton versus UCSB, I'm going to go Creighton. Virginia versus 13 Ohio. Virginia. Let's scroll down here. USC versus Wichita State or Drake. I'm going to go with an upset here. Wichita State. I'm picking Wichita State to win that. Just so you guys know. Kansas versus Eastern Washington. I'm going to go with Kansas. Oregon versus VCU. Oregon. Iowa versus Grand Canyon. Iowa. Let's scroll on down to the East region here. Number 1, Michigan versus Mount St. Mary's or Texas Southern. I'm going to go with Michigan there. LSU versus St. Bonnie's. I'm going to go with LSU. Georgetown versus Colorado. This is one of the 12-5 matchups I'm looking forward to the most. Georgetown going on that awesome run in the Big East tournament. I'm going to go with Georgetown. Florida State versus UNC Greensboro. We'll go with Florida State. BYU versus MSU UCLA. I'll go with BYU. MSU hasn't been that good this year. And I do expect MSU to win that UCLA game. But Texas versus Abilene Christian. I'll go with Texas. UConn versus Maryland. I'm going to go with the Big Ten team upsetting here. Big Ten's been very strong this year. Alabama versus Iona, Alabama. Okay, yeah, we're going back to the top here, the South region. Baylor versus Hartford, Baylor. North Carolina versus Wisconsin. I got to go with my home team, Wisconsin. Pulling the 8-9 upset there. Villanova versus Winthrop. Villanova. Purdue versus North Texas. Purdue. Texas Tech versus Utah State. I'm going to go with Utah State, just because I feel like it. Arkansas versus Colgate. Arkansas. Florida versus Virginia Tech. Gotta go with Charlie Parker's favorite team there, the Florida Gators. Ohio State versus Oral Roberts. Ohio State. Let's see here. Illinois versus Drexel. We're in the Midwest region now, by the way. Illinois versus Drexel. Illinois. Loyola Chicago Sister Jean. Absolutely. Tennessee versus Oregon State. I'll go with Tennessee here. Oklahoma State versus Liberty. Oklahoma State. Syracuse versus San Diego State. I'll go with San Diego State. West Virginia versus Morehead State. West Virginia. Clemson versus Rutgers. I'm going to go with Rutgers here. Big Ten. 10-7 upset. And Houston versus Cleveland State, I'll go with Houston. So no major upsets so far in my bracket, but I do have a few double-digit seeds moving on to the next round. We'll start back up here in the West. Gonzaga versus Oklahoma. I will go with Gonzaga. Creighton versus Virginia. Oh, let's go with Virginia. I like Virginia. Plays a similar style to the Badgers, but typically better. Kansas versus Wichita State. Keep in mind, I am picking Wichita State for that first 4 games, so if they lose, this prediction goes out the door. Kansas is going to move on there. Iowa versus Oregon. Man, I really want to pick against Iowa. You know what? Let's do it. Screw it. Oregon over Iowa. I hate Iowa. Michigan versus LSU. Michigan. Georgetown versus Florida State. Georgetown keeps it rolling, baby. BYU versus Texas. I'll go with Texas. Maryland versus Alabama. Alabama, I know, has been playing really well, so that's cool to see them succeed in anything but football. Wisconsin versus Baylor. You know I have to. You know I have to pick the Wisconsin Badgers over Baylor. Baylor's, from what I've heard, the week's #1 seed. Wisconsin got underseeded. I gotta go with my Wisconsin Badgers. Moving on to the Sweet 16. Villanova versus Purdue. We will go with let's go with the Villanova versus Wisconsin rematch from a few years ago. I like that in the Sweet 16. Utah State versus Arkansas. We'll go with Arkansas. Florida versus Ohio State. Ooh, man, I really want to pick against Ohio State too, but I already picked against Iowa, so we'll go with Ohio State there. Sorry, Charlie Parker. I do apologize. I wanted to pick your Gators, but I already picked against Iowa, so I don't see multiple 2-7 upsets. Illinois versus Loyola Chicago. Sorry, Sister Jean. I gotta go with Illinois. Tennessee versus Oklahoma State. We'll go with OK State there. West Virginia versus San Diego State. West Virginia. And Rutgers versus Houston. We'll go with Houston there. So, Sweet 16. Back to the top of the board here. Gonzaga versus Virginia. I gotta go with Gonzaga. Kansas versus Oregon. The run ends here for Oregon, unfortunately. Kansas over Oregon there. Georgetown versus Michigan. Sorry, Georgetown. Michigan's going to the Elite Eight. Gotta pick Alabama over Texas there. Going back up here, Nova versus Wisconsin. You know what? Wisconsin, baby. Wisconsin. Arkansas versus Ohio State. Oh, I really want to pick against Ohio State again. But no, we're going to go with a rematch in the Elite Eight, baby. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Illinois versus Oklahoma State. Illinois. West Virginia versus Houston. I will go with Houston there. So we have two 1-2 matchups on the bottom. And then we have a 1 and a 3 and a 9 and a 2. Would you look at that? Wisconsin versus Ohio, or actually we'll start here. Gonzaga versus Kansas. I'm going to go with the Zags for the first team in the Final Four. Michigan versus Alabama. I'd love to pick Michigan, Big Ten represent, but I got to go with Alabama. I don't know. I don't really see Michigan making it all the way to the Final Four without Livers. Back up to the top here. You know I have to. You know I gotta put my Badgers in the Final Four. You know I gotta put my Badgers in the Final Four. And, let's see here. Illinois versus Houston. We'll go with Illinois. So, we got 2 1s, a 2, and a 9 in the Final Four. Unfortunately, actually we'll start here. Gonzaga over Alabama. I'm gonna go with the Zags. And then Wisconsin versus Illinois. Can't tell you how much I want to pick Wisconsin, but I feel like their luck is going to run out. I got to pick Illinois. Sorry, I know, fake fan, whatever. But yeah, national championship, Gonzaga versus Illinois. Man, I don't know. I've been watching Illinois play for the past few weeks, and they just look better than any team I've seen in the country. They look phenomenal. I got to go with Illinois with DeSomu and Coburn on that team. They're just crazy. Final score, let's go 64-60. That'll be the tiebreaker. I will enter the All-State Tourney Challenge, and I will enter the Accurate Tourney Challenge, even though I don't really care to get any of those things. Actually, I do, but I probably won't win anyways. But we will submit our bracket. So that's my Final Four: Gonzaga, Alabama, Wisconsin, Illinois. My national championship: Gonzaga versus Illinois. I'm going to pick the Illini to win 64-60 as the tie-breaking final score. So anyways, guys, that's all I got to say in this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I certainly had a lot of fun making it. But in the meantime, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time on Wisconsin, baby.